to answer any questions.
Walter, I'll yield to you first because you've been very patient. You have your hand up first.
I can remember what my notes are about. Thank you. Gary, you had on the airport planning for $2.5 million from the city of Moscow.
Yes.
And you mentioned first that there's an attempt to get a lower interest rate for the match from the federal government.
Yes.
It's not a done deal yet. You also mentioned interest and effort in getting funding from other entities.
Yes.
Are we the only entity, if we pass this tonight, to buy into this program at this time?
I think we are. Now, remember, City of Pullman, they could commit. I know they've had discussions. I haven't read that they've committed to it yet. Their budget cycle is January 1 to December 31st. So until they get their budget done, I don't know that they could do that. We've heard positive comments from WSU and the University of Idaho, and I certainly invite Mayor Lambert to talk about that.
One of the things, the FAA requirement is we have two entities that are sponsors, and that's the City of Pullman and that's the City of Moscow. The FAA does not take on an elaborate scheme of a bunch of different sponsors. That's why it's limited to two cities, Moscow and Pullman. We do know that we've got help from both Washington State University, the University of Idaho coming, as well as some private donors that's going to be a part of this. So that's where we're at with this, and that's an FAA requirement, because what they want to do is they want to talk to two entities, two sponsors. They don't want to have to talk to a group of 6 because it's much easier. And quite frankly, they're amazed at how well that the two sponsors, the City of Pullman and the City of Moscow, are working together in collaboration to try to make this thing work for us as a region. And that, as a region, folks, is very, very important to us. So I hope that answers some of those questions, Gary. And one of the reasons I know so much about this, folks, is because I'm the vice chair of the airport board, and so I've got information that I can share with anybody if they would like to ask questions. But
I think in answer to Councilman Steed's question, I've not seen letters of commitment at this point. And the city, by allowing, remember, you're authorizing the levy of these funds. You are not authorizing the disbursement of these funds. The budget appropriates them, but it is up to you to release them.
Okay, and if I may?
Sure, go ahead.
So the current estimate, I think you said, was $89 million.
Yes, sir.
I've read somewhere that at some point a contingency was added on that pushed it to
119.
119. If you've got a rounding purposes, $1 million here, $1 million there, $120 million project with the contingency, and two entities on the hook for it, Moscow and Pullman, and if you end up at a 10% match rate, the City of Moscow could be on the hook for $6 million.
Mathematically, I think that's correct.
Okay. On one of your slides, if I may,
Go ahead.
On one of your slides, Gary, you showed a city total tax burden of $47.87 on a $300,000 home. Yes, that one.
That one?
No, that one.
Okay.
The $47.87 estimated tax burden?
Yes, sir.
Increase.
Increase.
Now back up one slide.
If you want to look at this one.
No.
Oh.
You were right the first time.
Okay.
The $47.87, and then on the bottom line, the tax implication is shown as going down from 4154 to 4109.
Because it's a school district.
Don can talk about that. It has to do with the personal property tax application.
There's two factors that weigh into that. One is the personal property tax exemption went from $81,000 to $83,908. That's a big piece of it. Homeowners exemption. Thank you. What did I say? Oh, it didn't matter. Anyway, and the other is the personal property tax. That is something the legislature had approved, and that is deducted from the levy amount for this year. And in previous L2s that we submit was included. So that's a deduction from the levy rate. So that also has an impact. which is why that rate goes down. Now, the other slide that you saw that goes up is related to just the fact that you're trying to compare apples to apples in the same year. In other words, 2015 to 2015, what is the rate differences for the three things that were asked? The three things were the 3% tax rate increase, the foregone amount for the 2 police officers replacement funding, and the airport funding. That's what that's trying to show.
Okay, so, if I may, if you go up to the first line, the City of Moscow actual 2013 of 444, going to an estimated 2015 of 471, that's only 27 cents. Correct?
I'm sorry, which
The very top one,
Top
Don.
line, $4.44 in 13. Estimated 2015 in 15, $4.71.
Correct.
Okay. So that's just 27 cents. You know, that's not even a cup of coffee. If you go to the next slide, again, you know, you'll never convince me that raising taxes doesn't cost people money. I mean, I hear this all, you know, it's only $5, it's only $3, it's only 27 cents. It adds up before it's all over.
Well, make no mistake, it's going to cost money to do it. It's not going to be a negative factor. It's going to be a positive in the terms that, yeah, we're going to pay more for it. That's just the way it works out. That's one of the reasons we're bringing these slides up, and I asked staff to do this, so that not only our council could see the numbers on this, but our public could see the numbers on it. So it's just, I like things black and white, and I'm a numbers guy, so.
If you drop back one slide, please, Gary. The Latah County, if you look at estimated 2014, is going up, you know, 3 cents, and they have approximately the same 25% of the total tax burden that we do, correct?
23.4,
And we have,
24 point,
so we have slightly more than they do,
yeah,
not
just a
much.
little bit.
Yeah. So they're going up 3 cents, while we're going up the difference between 425 and 471. I'm really proud of the county in that they, I understand, are going up 1% instead of the 3% they're allowed, having gone up the 3% for around 20-odd years and never having held back. So, you know, I'm appreciative of what the county's doing, but I'll let it go at that. Thank you.
If I may, with all due respect to the county, precisely, but I think you also need to give credence to the city that has foregone the 3% many years in that same 20-year period. And that is not making any value judgment. The county is doing the best they can as we're doing the best we can. I think we just need to recognize that we have also been very conservative with the public's dollar.
Wayne?
Along those lines, first, Walter, you made the comment that on this airport matching money, that we could be on the hook for $6 million. Sorry, but I don't see that. If it came to that point, that means the deal fell through, and that means we're not on the hook for anything. We have to approve the expenditure of the funds. That isn't going to happen. Now, that's my response to that. Now, in just comment, reflection to what you just said, Gary, about how frugal the city has been over the years, I went up to my friend Lois's office today, and I had her actually pull my personal tax bill on my home residence from 2008 to 2013. In 2008, my total tax bill was $2,200. 2013, it was almost $2,800. The city's share in 2008 was $590.32. In 2013, it was $635.42. That's a $45 increase in 6 years. I think that's pretty frugal. Now, it looks like exclusive of the airport, drop the airport part of it, and we talk about the 3%, and then we talk about foregone money for our police officers. Had we been taking those 3% over the last 5 years, every year, like we could have, we wouldn't be in the position that we are now. So now we are playing a little bit of catch-up. That's the way I see it.
Bill?
John, you had a question down there. or some
I'm
comment.
going to go back to the taxes, and actually the
Previous slide.
amount of, no, just the amount that we're all going to have to write a check for. We've got 2207, 1256, 1902. I think we should probably keep in mind that those figures may go up a few cents or down a few cents, so the actual amount that you have to write the check for could easily be somewhat different than this, although not a tremendous amount. Would that be correct, Lois?
Well, one of the things on that, John, one of the reasons we did this presentation was so that people could say, and it is not exact.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But the catch is it gives you an idea of where you will be in placement. And that's what this whole example is set for.
Your Honor, if I may, before the council continues with its debate, we do have a public hearing by law that
Yes,
we
indeed.
need to open, so I would request that the mayor open that public hearing, and I have two communications that were given to me by the city clerk.